In the film, there's a line that I really took to that happens pretty early on where someone says, "Hold fast onto your opinions." How do you personally navigate holding on to your own creative and thematic convictions in a world where truth, lies, and temptation are constantly colliding?
Well, I wanted to make a film that was about that. So I didn't want
Yeah.
to make some ideological screed. I do have very strong political opinions, and I do land firmly in one space.
Sure.
But I didn't want to make a film that was, that was extolling the virtues of one ideology.
Mm,
That would have been too narrow, and it wouldn't have been pointing to the bigger problem that I see, uh, which is ultimately that we're all living in different realities, and we're not reachable to each other at all. It's very easy to demonize each other,
hmm
but the fact is that we are, we have been successfully divided. That's
Yeah.
not like the innocent consequence of social media. That's the consequence of, work that's been done by people who have harnessed it. And so um, I wanted to make a film that was about the environment. And so this is a movie that is about a bunch of people who care about the world and feel that something is very wrong, but they're all looking at the world through different, distorted, strange windows, and they all disagree on what that thing is.
For sure. Your films often reward meticulous viewers with layers of meaning, whether through dialogue, visual cues, or background details. How do you decide which elements deserve a more direct, head-on exploration in dialogue or plot versus those that are left as perhaps like subtle Easter eggs for the audience to discover, such as, I don't know, the endless supply of TP in Ted's house?
I tend to find that when you close a door for people and give them a certain amount of closure or resolution, engagement stops. It's sort of they're able to go off and the movie's over. And I like a film that gives you something more to chew on when you leave.
Yeah.
There have been instances, I won't go into them, where I have been sort of explicit about something, and I tend to find that I regret it, or that it just feels like the least interesting gesture in the entire film. Whenever I tie it up, it just feels like, I don't know. It there's something false about it, for me.
Mm,
Um, Especially a film like this, which is about, a society that has been so atomized and fractured. It feels like, to give resolution. I would say that for anybody who's maybe looking for my stance, and maybe for, what the heart of the movie is, I would maybe say wait till the end of the movie.
hmm
It I think the key to the movie is at the very end.
Agreed. Is there a particular detail in editing that you're especially proud of hiding in plain sight?
Not one that I would, point out here, but I am very happy with the film,
Yeah.
I would say. Yeah.
Yeah. What about working in thoughtful details and the overall impact of the transitional moments, such as the airplane mask bit transitioning into the Black Lives Matter social post? I assume you write for the edit.
Yeah, that's sort of written to paint a pretty vivid picture of how I will be shooting it and directing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's sort of a benefit that comes with writing and directing. Because when you're just a screenwriter, there's sort of a rule that you should not direct too much on the page, because you want to kind of give the reader and the director space to sort of build it the way
Sure.
they would like. Um, but but I know that I'll be directing these films that I write, and so I would say they are maybe more descriptive than some other screenplays might be.
Sure, sure. Eddington feels like it shares, I hope you don't mind me saying this, DNA with the Coen brothers film, but you unapologetically push the accelerator in a way that's uniquely Ari Aster, whether it's self-decapitation, a penis monster, or a face smashed into hamburger meat. How do you approach the art of dancing on the line of chaos without losing control of the reins?
Well, all this is subjective, for what, some people would say that I do lose control of the reins. My feeling is that I do like a movie that kind of goes off the rails.
Hmm.
I like a hefty climax. I like to prolong set pieces as much as I can and sort of distend those climactic sections. Um, it's just in the end, I think, any artist, any writer, any filmmaker is making the kind of work they want to see.
Hmm.
Um, and if they're not, I think they're doing it wrong. I think
Yeah.
there's a tendency to maybe be pretty strategic among some writers and filmmakers, but I think that never really. I mean, it might work out in one sense, but I find that I can't work that way. That it is all just intuitive. And yeah, I like to push things, you know, to extremes. I wouldn't call Eddington or really any of my films particularly subtle, but I hope that I can sort of fold subtleties into it, right? To like
Yeah,
kind of
for sure.
that there's nuance in an otherwise uh bombastic film that, kind of gives way to excess where I like excess.
Yeah, definitely. I no, I agree with you. I love how you present this as a Western where the guns are phones. How did you approach the challenge of making technology something so ubiquitous and mundane feel as menacing and dramatic as a six shooter in a classic Western?
Well, I think these phones are pretty menacing, and I think
Yeah.
if anything, part of the project for me was to foreground the phones and underscore them and make them not something that's like background or just like one detail folded into the film, but that these things are actually kind of leading us, they're guiding us, and this is a movie that's about people living in the internet. I think that's been the situation ever since we've been able to carry the internet on our person. And so I never wanted the phones to kind of blend in. I wanted them to be pervasive and ever present and almost queasy making. I wanted
Yeah.
to make you sick with the phones.
Yeah. I know we're about to run out of time, so I'll cut you loose on asking about the theme of trauma and its passage through family lines, which I think is a well recurring theme in your work that I love from Hereditary to Eddington. What do you think it is about this theme that continues to fascinate you, haunt you, and then you still find these unique ways to explore it? Like just when I think you've uncovered it all, you find like these totally new areas that make it fascinating in each project that you put out.
Life is traumatic. So we all have trauma. I think in some ways, um, given the fact that we're living in these systems and we do feel so kind of lost in the moment, uh, I think a lot of us have retreated
Yeah.
into the past, and that means nostalgia. So we go back to these things that feel comforting to us.
Hmm.
It also means that we kind of go back into our trauma and we kind of enshrine those things, and and it's about a bit of that is about being forensic about how did we get here? How did I get here? And we are living in this achievement society, right? Where it's all on us now, right? We're not, there is, where if you fail, it's your fault. So you must be working all the time, all the time. And if you don't succeed, that's on you. Um, And so, for me, um, trauma can also be like a real distraction, and a way of not looking to the present and not even thinking about the future, just like kind of enmeshing yourself in the past. And I think that's very dangerous. And I think that's a big part of what Eddington is about. It's about people who can't even think about the future because it's unpleasant for them.
Yeah.
Uh, and it's hard. I feel that we're being led right now by people who don't believe in the future. Um, and so right now I'm really hungry for any new ideas
Yeah.
as to where things can go.